So today we are very fortunate. Okay, let me start the recording once. So we are very fortunate. We have His Grace Shri Gopal Pran Prabhu from New York, and Prabhuji is going to enlighten us from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verse number 78. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhamma all glory to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj. You may take over the call when you're ready, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu, you can start now.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, you are audible. Hare Krishna.
Can I share the screen?
Sure. Let me make you a host.
Hmm.
Then you should be able to. One second. Probably. Yeah, you are the co-host now. So can you try now?
Yes. Okay, we are reading this verse number 78 of Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir, Dhruvam Netir Matir Mamam. Few devotees can recite this verse.
यत्र योगेश्वर कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धर तत्र श्रीविजयो भूति ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम. Hare Krishna.
Someone else?
Yes, probably. I will try. One second. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Tatra Partho Dhanurdhara Tatra Shri Virjayo Bhurtir Dhruva Nitirmatir Mama.
Few more devotees want to recite. Couple of devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Hare Krishna.
I'll try, Babuji.
Yeah.
Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno, Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir, Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Hare Krishna.
Word to word meaning. Yatra, where Yoga Ishvara, the master of the mysticism, Krishna, Lord Krishna, Yatra, where Partha, the son of the Parth, Dhanurdhara, the carrier of the bow and arrow, Tatra, there, Shri, opulence, Vijaya, victory, Bhute, exceptional power, Dhruva, certainly, certain, Niti, morality, Mati, mama, my opinion. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will always certainly be opulence. Opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and mortality. That is my opinion. Purport. The Bhagavad Gita began with an inquiry of the Dhritarashtra's. He was hopeful of the victory of his sons, assisted by great warriors like Bhishma, Drona, and Karna. He was hopeful that the victory would be on his side. But after describing the scene on the battlefield, Sanjaya told the king, "You are thinking of victory, but my opinion is that where Krishna and Arjuna are present, there will be all good fortune." He directly confirmed that Dhritarashtra could not accept victory for his side. Victory was certain for the side of Arjuna because Krishna was there. Krishna's acceptance of the post of a charioteer for Arjuna was an exhibition of another opulence. Krishna is full of all opulences, and renunciation is one of them. There are many instances of such renunciation, for Krishna is also the master of renunciation. The fight was actually between Duryodhan and Yudhishthir. Arjuna was fighting on behalf of his elder brother Yudhishthir. Because Krishna and Arjuna were on the side of Yudhishthir, Yudhishthir's victory was certain. The battle was to decide who would rule the world, and Sanjaya predicted that the power will be transferred to Yudhishthir. It is also predicted here that Yudhishthir, after gaining victory in the battle, would flourish more and more because not only was he righteous and pious, but he was also a strict moralist. He never spoke a lie during his life. There are many less intelligent persons who take Bhagavad Gita to be a discussion of topic between two friends on the battlefield. But such a book cannot be scripture. Some may protest that Krishna incited Arjuna to fight, which is immoral. But the reality of the situation is clearly stated. Bhagavad Gita is the supreme instruction in morality. The supreme instruction of morality is stated in the 9th chapter, in the 34th verse. Man manabhav mad bhakto. One should become a devotee of Krishna, and the essence of all religion is to surrender unto Krishna. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. The instructions of Bhagavad Gita constitute the supreme process of religion and of morality. All other processes may be purifying and may lead to this process, but the last instruction of Gita is the last word in all morality and religion. Surrender unto Krishna. This is the verdict of the 18th chapter. For the Bhagavad Gita, we can understand that to realize oneself by philosophical speculation and by meditation is one process, but to fully surrender unto Krishna is the highest perfection. This is the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. The path of regulative principles according to the order of the social life and according to different courses of religion may be confidential part of knowledge. But although the rituals of religion are confidential, meditation and cultivation of knowledge are still more confidential. And surrender unto Krishna in devotional service is full Krishna consciousness, is the most confidential instruction. That is the essence of the 18th chapter. Another feature of Bhagavad Gita is that the actual truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. The absolute truth is realized in three features: impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and ultimately the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Perfect knowledge of the absolute truth means perfect knowledge of Krishna. If one understands Krishna, then all the departments of knowledge are part and parcel of that understanding. Krishna is the transcendental. Krishna is transcendental, for he is always situated in his eternal internal potency. The living entities are manifested of his energy and are divided into two classes: eternally conditioned and eternally liberated. Such living entities are innumerable and they are considered fragmental part of Krishna. Material energy is the manifestation into 24 divisions. The creation is affected by the eternal time, and it is created and dissolved by the external energy. This manifestation of the cosmic world repeatedly becomes visible and invisible. In Bhagavad Gita, five principal subjects matter have been discussed: the Supreme Personality of Godhead, material nature, the living entity, eternal time, and all kinds of activities. All is dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. All conceptions of the absolute truth, impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and any other transcendental conception exist within the category of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although specifically the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the living entity, material nature, and time appear to be different, nothing is different from the Supreme. But the Supreme is always different from everything. Lord Chaitanya's philosophy is that of inconceivable oneness and difference. This system of philosophy constitutes perfect knowledge of the absolute truth. The living entity, in his original position, is a pure spirit. He is just like an atomic particle of the Supreme Spirit. Thus, Lord Krishna may be compared to the sun and the living entity to sunshine. Because the living entity are the marginal energy of the Krishna, they have a tendency to be in contact either with the material energy or with the spiritual energy. In other words, the living entity is situated between the two energies of the Lord, and because he belongs to the superior energy of the Lord, he has a particle of independence. By proper use of that independence, he comes under the direct order of Krishna. Thus, he attains his normal condition in the pleasure giving potency. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport to the 18th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of its conclusion, the perfection of renunciation. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshunu Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamischa Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamischa नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम परायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नमामि गौरत्से नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते सप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, dear. First of all, I'd like to seek you know, forgiveness that I was supposed to give last week, but somehow I was traveling with Radheshyam Prabhu to Boston, so I could not give last week. So somehow, fortunately, I'm able to come and connect with all of you this week. Today, today we are reading from Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, and we are coming to the conclusion of the 18th chapter. The purport is so beautifully explaining the concept of all our Krishna conscious philosophy, and it's giving us why this verse is such an important verse for us, for a devotee. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanudhara, Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhutir, Dhruvam Nitir Matir Mama. So wherever Krishna is there, this verse is very, very beautifully explaining. Wherever Krishna is there, there will be victory. In fact, there will be five things what has been described in this verse. What are those five things? Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mistakes, wherever there is Arjuna, there will be certainly be opulences, victory, extraordinary power, and mortality. Four things: opulences, victory, extraordinary power, and mortality. So anyone who is looking, who is looking for, to become successful in his life, he needs all these things. He needs opulences. He needs to be victorious in whatever he's doing, and he needs extraordinary power. And then he has to become mortality. He has to become, come to the point of accepting everything to be, to be based on the right principles. So this is a very wonderful thing, and as we were discussing, as it is described here, um, Dhritarashtra asked for in the initial words of Bhagavad Gita. Dhritarashtra asked first question to Sanjaya, and what is the thing Dhritarashtra is asking? Dhritarashtra is asking that what will happen to all my sons who have assembled at the battlefield. That is his concern, because he wanted to see that his sons are victorious. He's telling Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre Samveda Yotsava Mamaka Pandava Chaiva Kim Akruta Sanjaya. He's asking Sanjaya, and here Sanjaya is predicting what is going to happen to his sons. His sons will be defeated, his sons will be killed by the arrows of the Pandavas, and there will be like no one will be spared there. And because of in the first chapter also, first verse, Dhritarashtra also is little bit understanding that his sons doesn't have an upper hand. Why? Because the place where the battlefield is going on is a place where its pious activities are done, or it's like a pilgrimage place, a place of, a sacred place. Kurukshetra is there. So, in that way, that place has a great influence, and the personalities who have assembled there have a great influence. Like if you go to any place, and if you go by yourself, you may not feel a great importance or to understand about what has happened. But a person who knows the importance of that place will definitely let you know that what is there. Like sometimes we visit Yatra, and we go with we go with great souls, like, we go for with Radhanath Maharaj or Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Gopal Krishna Maharaj is taking yatras. Loknath Maharaj is taking Raj Mandal Parikrama. Sachinandan Swami Maharaj takes yatras. Indradun Maharaj takes yatras. So when we go to any holy place, and when we go by ourselves, the experience is very, very different. But when we go with someone, the experience is very, very unique. Because what happens is, in their association, we get to feel the experience of being in that place. So here also, Kurukshetra is a place where, and the place also has got a potency which acts on a person. Like just by being in Vrindavan, it's very easy to be Krishna conscious. Prabhupada always used to tell, just by being in Vrindavan, you can very easily, develop your Krishna consciousness fully. Because everyone is in the mood of serving Krishna, everyone is in the mood of remembering Krishna. Even the auto rickshaw driver, will always tell Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Radhe Radhe. That is the word actually what they use for even indicating or telling everyone. So the place has got a potency also. And here Sanjay is confirming what is happening. That the place Kurukshetra, and why just not the place? And because the personality of Lord Krishna is on the side of Pandavas, definitely the victory will be theirs of the Pandavas. It will not be the victory of Kauravas. So, and it's like very beautiful, it's like, wherever Krishna is there, And wherever Krishna is there, that place or that person will always be victorious. Like if we just see an example, apparently, I was just thinking, apparently if we see that, what happened to Jatayu? Jatayu also fought, and he was fighting on behalf of Lord Ram. But then he lost his life in his battlefield, but eventually was victorious. Why was he victorious? Because he was victorious because he was fighting on the battlefield for Lord Ram. Even though Lord Ram was not present personally, but then it was sure that he was fighting on the right side. So wherever one is fighting, or wherever one is taking the side of Lord, then definitely he will be victorious. Victory will be definitely be there. As Srila Prabhupada also used to say, is that um, one of the press conference reporter had come, and he was challenging Prabhupada again and again, and he told Prabhupada, he told Swamiji, who believes in Krishna? What if Krishna is not there? After you are practicing, everything is there, and you understand that there is no Krishna. And then Prabhupada looked at him very seriously and told, yeah, what you're telling is, if for a second, if we believe that thing, but you see how we are leading our lives. And Prabhupada tells very nicely. Prabhupada tells, see, we get up early in the morning. We have very healthy lifestyle. We eat the healthy food, and we eat what? We eat healthy food, not harming any living entities at all. And we have the most blissful day, starting our day at 4:30 with dancing in front of the Lord. And we dance like 3 to 4 times at least in a day we dance. Which person dances in a day? Not every person wants to dance, but here we dance. We dance in Mangalarti, we dance in Tulsi Aarti, we dance in Guru Puja, we dance in Gaur Aarti, and if we go out for Harinam, we are dancing. And we are doing the most wonderful activity is giving this beautiful knowledge to all the people around. And we are trying to help them. So, and Prabhupada explains all the Krishna conscious activities, and then at the end he tells, okay, this way our life is so wonderful. Even if Krishna is not there, even then our life is so wonderful. And then he asks the reporter very nicely. He tells, what if Krishna is there? Then what will happen? Yes, we are going to Krishna, but what about you? So I'm the press conference, the press reporter. He gets completely bewildered. He tells yes. And by the way, Prabhupada tells that, again he adds after adding this thing, that just not Krishna is there. And we believe so much in our previous acharyas and the scriptures, which confirm that Krishna is there and Krishna is going to be on our side. So it's very important to understand that wherever Krishna is there, victory was certain for the side, as it is told in the first paragraph also. You know, victory was certain for the side of Arjuna because Krishna was there. Krishna's acceptance of the post of charioteer for Arjuna was an exhibition of another opulences. Like Krishna has all 6 opulences. What are the 6 opulences Krishna has? Anyone can tell? Hare Krishna. Anyone knows what are the 6 opulences of Krishna according to the definition of Bhagwan by Parashar Muni?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, he is most beautiful, he has the most strength, most wealth, most knowledge, and he's most renounced as well as he's the most glorious.
Yes. Renounce and most glorious. And here Krishna Prabhupada is writing about one thing, that is his renunciation. He's telling that there is Krishna is full of all opulences, and renunciation is one of them. And there are many instances of such renunciation. Why is Krishna renouncing? Krishna is renouncing his post as the supreme lord and is ready to become as a king. He is renouncing his post and is ready to become a charioteer for his beloved devotee Arjuna. So it's very important, like, see, there are many instances where Krishna exhibit this renunciation. In spite of being the supreme personality of Godhead, he's living as a small child in Vrindavan. you know and this is like most bewildering thing. Even though Brahma hears about all the activities that Krishna will be coming and taking birth on the on the earth, and he'll be performing all his pastimes, and he's been requested in front of Bhumi Devi and all the demigods that I'll be coming and ask all the demigods to come and take birth in the Mathura and Vrindavan Leela, area, and he's taking. But then he's so astonished when he hears what? When he hears the sound of a Jai Jaikar, especially when Aghasur was killed, and he was like so bewildered. Aghasur is such a great demon that even the demigod used to get bewildered by seeing that what kind of ferocious demon that is. So they used to hide in the sky and they used to see what Aghasur is doing or something like that. And then it was so. And when all the demigods were flowering shower and were dancing when Aghasur was killed, this sound attracted Brahma, and Brahma was so bewildered. Who has killed Aghasur? And then he comes to Vrindavan, where Krishna is performing pastimes. And what he sees there, he sees that Krishna has taken such a small boy, such a loving boy, and such a and he's surrounded with all his friends, Gopas. And there he is actually, what is he doing? He's surrounded with all the friends playing in Vrindavan, in the forest of Vrindavan. And during the lunch time, they are having lunch together. And what kind of lunch they are having? Small lunch, what Mother Yashoda has packed, laddus, peda, sandesh, everything, whatever has been packed, the Krishna is carrying. And then, all the cowherd boys, the Gopas are having very nice breakfast, very nice snacks to eat at the forest. And everyone is sitting around Krishna and everyone is enjoying, trying to eat something. So one of the boy takes something and he tells, "Oh Krishna, this is so beautiful, so tasty. You should try this." No, he takes out from his mouth and then puts it in the mouth of Krishna. And this bewilders Brahmaji like anything. Bole, is he the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna? Really? You know, Krishna is worshipped. I worship Krishna in a very different form. To offer anything, I have to, I have to take bath, I have to be ready, make the offering ready, and then do all the mudras. Everything I have to do. And with everything, I take in front of the Lord, and then I offer it. But here is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is, renouncing his post as the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Krishna, and then he's coming and acting like a small boy. So that is such a bewildering thing to Brahmaji. He just could not digest that thing. And he was bewildered and just wanted to test Krishna for a second. Let me test. If he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, why don't I test him? And immediately, what he does, he takes away all the cows first, all the calves and calves he takes away. And then immediately you know, all the cowherd boys actually, they start feeling that the calves are not visible actually. And Krishna wants to go and search after the calves. And he tells, "I'll do this." And by the time he comes here, all his cowherd boys also are lost. So immediately, this is like a Brahma Vimohan Leela, which is taking place, you know. So this is how we understand that is Krishna is exhibiting his renunciation by leaving his post. Krishna has left one more pastime of Vrindavan where Krishna has, exhibited this thing. Like Krishna is carrying the lotus, footprints or the slippers of Nanda Maharaj, and is carrying it, putting on his head, and is carrying very slowly. So even though Krishna is like the Supreme Lord, but he's renouncing his post, renouncing his opulences, and he's just acting like a small child, lovingly exhibiting his relationship with Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, and all the cowherd boys and cowherd gopas and gopis. So that is the renunciation what the Lord is ready to do for his devotee, and he's ready to even leave everything. So it's very beautiful. Lord can go to any extent to fulfill his promises, and that is what Sanjay is telling. That even though Krishna is not going to pick up any weapon, but the victory will be on the side of battlefield of victory will be on the side of battlefield of Pandavas. Why? Because Krishna is there. and Krishna can do anything and everything. So for a devotee, it's very, very important. What Prabhupada is writing is very beautiful here. He's writing that this one sentence which was very striking to me when we were reading. One must become a devotee of Krishna, and the essence of all religion is to surrender unto him. Before that, the path of regulated principle according to the order. No, material energy is the manipulation. There is that sentence. If one understands Krishna, then all the departments of knowledge are part and parcel of can understanding Krishna is transcendental, for he is always situated in his eternal internal potency. Not this one. Sorry, I'm not getting the right sentence. What I was looking for. Okay, the sentence tells that one should be connected to Krishna. If one is connected to Krishna, victory will be there. The internal instruction. Okay. Okay, the thing again in this purport, if you see, the very beautiful themes what Srila Prabhupada has spoken at the end of this chapter is that what is the highest principle or highest instructions of Bhagavad Gita. What is the highest instruction of Bhagavad Gita? Is to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And just by surrendering unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can understand very easily that his life will be successful. What does surrender mean now? If we just understand the meaning of surrender, surrender means we are giving priority to all the Krishna conscious activities what we are doing. Whatever is favorable for Krishna, anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam. Whatever is favorable for Krishna, I'm ready to accept it. And whatever is unfavorable for my Krishna consciousness, I'm ready to reject it. That is called surrender actually in one way. That is like one of the principles of surrender. So it's very, very important for a devotee that, he should surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what does surrender mean? Surrender means he is ready to do anything what is required for pleasing Krishna. That means my first priority in taking any decision in my life is Krishna. I consider, if I get up early in the morning, if I should sleep late, or I'm doing some service, or I'm working, or I'm doing anything, my first priority is it helpful for me to remember Krishna, or is it helpful for making me Krishna conscious and making others Krishna conscious? That is what is required actually when it comes to surrender. So Prabhupada is telling very clearly, if one follows this surrender, the process of surrender, then it's very, very wonderful. Or else it's very difficult actually. One cannot live one cannot become successful in his practice of Krishna consciousness or advance in the process of bhakti without surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And one has to surrender actually, one has to surrender. And unless and until he accepts the authority, and be under some devotee, surrender his life and do all his activities to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's not possible actually that one will advance in Krishna consciousness. So this is what Prabhupada is also telling. All other processes may be purifying and 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 may lead to this process. But the last instruction of Gita is the last word in all morality and religion. Surrender unto Krishna. This is the verdict of the 18th chapter. And then Prabhupada in the next purport, in the next paragraph of the purport, tells very beautifully that we can understand Krishna by philosophical meditation. One for Bhagavad Gita, we can understand that to realize oneself by philosophical speculation and by meditation is one process. But then, what is the highest process? The highest process is the confidential knowledge which is revealed in Bhagavad Gita. So, and then the absolute truth again after in the next purport, Prabhupada tells that one has to surrender, one has to not just surrender. I'm just telling one has to accept the personality of Godhead in his personal form and worship him, not just that one wants to worship the impersonal Brahman or the localized Paramatma. So here it's like one thing which was like very very wonderful thing what was discussed about was the Achintya Bheda Bhed Tattva. What Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told in his uh, accepting of the Lord is that the Lord is uh, inconceivable, uh, inconceivable oneness and difference. So, the Supreme Personality of God has different things, what he has exhibited. But then, what he is there as the Supreme Lord, as a person, and if you don't accept that thing, and at the same time, he is the effluence which is coming out of his body is the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. So, he's simultaneously one and simultaneously different, actually. Simultaneously different. Many people outside get bewildered, actually. Sometimes, recently I met a person, actually, and he was telling, I just want to sit and meditate. And meditate on what? Meditate on the supreme light, which is in the nature. And I asked, what is the supreme light? Where do you see that? It is there everywhere, actually. And I was just trying to understand his philosophy, what he was leading his life with. It was so bewildering. He just want to sit in front of a candle or in front of some light source and just want to meditate. And he wants to extract the energy from that light. I told, how can you extract energy? You are sitting, you're keeping the candle in front of the room and then you're sitting and then meditating at one corner. How do you expect that light, that energy will come? No, no, he was telling that is the process which I am working on. Sitting in one place, I want to access the light or the energy from that. So people are so much bewildered with whatever philosophies they want. And this is what, they all speculate and do mental speculation and concoct so many philosophies, whatever they read or they come across. Especially in America nowadays, if we speak to any Western people or anything like that, they are so bewildered about what is the goal of life because they don't know about Krishna. They don't know about the philosophy of the life. In fact, recently when I was hearing a lecture of Srila Prabhupada was telling that the Western world doesn't have any philosophy. Philosophy means we have to discuss what is mentioned in what is mentioned in the what is mentioned in India or what is mentioned in Bharat Desh, Bharat Varsha, because there the philosophy is there, but here they don't have any philosophy on it. Even though there are few religions, but the most of the religions they just speak on the principle of being mortality actually, or being just moral, practicing moral principles. But their proposal very strongly telling that philosophy means philosophy should be discussed where there is religion which is practiced. And you see, it's like so wonderful. You know, one of the things what Bhagavad Gita gives is a direction actually for a person to take proper decisions. For it just gives very beautiful direction that even after reading Bhagavad Gita, hearing Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was ready to take right directions in his right in his life actually. Even though he was defeated at one time, he lost Abhimanyu, but again he got up. He knew that this is just one of the losses of his battlefield, but not the complete war has been lost. And then he again took a very strong decision that he will keep fighting and then kill all the soldiers there. So this to take the right decision, that is one thing what Bhagavad Gita teaches us. And this is what Bhagavad Gita is coming to a conclusion and teaching us that just by accepting the teachings of Lord Krishna, just by accepting the teachings of Srila Prabhupada and the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can become victorious. And what are the teachings? The teachings are very, very simple. To accept the Supreme Lord as Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not that any other Lord is supreme. No, this is like so very important concept. What has been discussed again and again in Bhagavad Gita, that who is the Supreme Lord? Why should one accept? Because as soon as we accept this, that the Lord is supreme, that Krishna is supreme, it becomes very easy. We have nothing else to do. Then our goal is very clear that I just want to know about the Supreme Lord. I just want to establish my relationship with the Supreme Lord, and I want to connect and increase my relationship increase my service attitude, increase my seva, and increase my love towards the Lord. So that, because that should become very prominent actually. That should enthuse one to read about Bhagavad Gita, to learn about Bhagavad Gita, because this is what is the conclusion what Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving, that the Supreme Lord is the that is the thing actually, that if we accept yeah, if we accept the teachings, then it becomes very very easy actually, that we are ready to accept the Supreme Lord, and then we are ready to surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the last paragraph shows that how Krishna is giving the independence. Krishna could have become like a Lord who can just ask you to surrender, but he is not like that Lord who is asking you to surrender on a willing. He wants that everyone should willingly, lovingly should surrender, understanding that this is the nature. Like he is the Supreme Purusha, and we are the Prakriti by nature. And Prakriti is always meant to serve the Supreme Lord, Krishna. And we want to serve Krishna, and then we want to become his subordinate. So this is Hare Krishna. So this is what is the teachings of Lord Krishna in this chapter. The living entity in his original position is pure spirit. He's just like an atomic particle, but somehow or the other he has fallen in this material. And because of falling and getting conditioned by by the mold of nature, by the false ego and everything like that, he has become like contaminated. And because of his contamination in his heart, it's very, very difficult for him to take the right decisions. And because of being, you know, as Prabhupada is telling, in other words, the living entity is situated between two energies of the Lord. And because of it belonging to the superior energy of the Lord, he has a particle of independence. He has that willpower or the choice to make the right decisions. And if he, by the proper use of that independence, he comes under the direct order of the Lord, thus he attains his normal condition in the pleasure giving potency. He comes under the Supreme Lord's energy where he is ready to serve the Supreme Lord. One just before I conclude, I wanted to tell this very beautiful thing what is happening here. Yesterday we had very beautiful Snan Yatra festival here at New York Temple, and it was fortunate that His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj happened to come and visit all of us, and it was very very beautiful festival what took place yesterday. And Maharaj spoke so beautifully on the um, Snan Yatra, especially describing the pastimes, how Lord Jagannath had appeared on Snan Yatra, and how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu celebrated Snan Yatra in in Jagannath Puri, especially when he was waiting for all devotees to come from Mayapur, Navdeep. He was in Jagannath Puri after taking sannyas, and he was just waiting every day to come and speak. Uh, uh, he was waiting and waiting for all the devotees to come, and he was exhibiting great amount of separation from the Lord. So he goes to Alarnath and take darshan of Lord there, Lord Alarnath, and there, out of separation, he was feeling such intense feeling for the Lord that, when he paid obeisances, the stones also melted sometimes. So that was the intensity of the Lord actually, and there Maharaj was telling, what is our intensity? Our intensity is not even that in our heart is also melting. There, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's intensity of separation or love of loving Krishna is so strong, so much that everything, the stone is melting. But for us, our intensity of practice is not very strong. If it is very strong, then what will happen is our heart starts melting. So he was telling, very beautifully, he was telling about Snan Yatra. And the festival was very, very beautiful. And today, we are also is a very auspicious day. Though we are celebrating Chiradai festival tomorrow, but here in our temple and Bhakti Center, Maharaj is here. So they are celebrating the Chiradai festival. So I'll just speak a few things about Chiradai festival. It's a very beautiful festival where the devotee, who wants to go and receive the mercy of Lord, Raghunath Das Goswami wanted to receive the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he was somehow or the other was not able to receive the mercy of the Lord. Again and again he was trying. Actually, he was in love with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As soon as he heard, from his spiritual master, from his guru, that about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wanted to go and surrender his life. But he was coming from a very rich family, and he wanted, his parents were not allowing him to go. His parents were guarding him with soldiers every time, right? Telling him, that you cannot leave this place. You have great responsibility. You have to take care of your business and everything. And eventually, Raghunath Das Goswami was married. He got married. The parents made him married to one of the beautiful women, actually, beautiful girls. And then and somehow, but still, his heart was always with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He just wanted to go and associate and surrender his life to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he was trying repeatedly again and again, again and again, wanting to go and surrender his life. And it wasn't happening. So, you know, he felt like, what did I do here that I'm not able to go and, you know, render my surrender to the Supreme Lord, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, and that time, Lord Nityananda Prabhu with his associates was traveling around, and he comes to this place of Raghunath Das Goswami. That is Panihati, that is the place from it's very near to Mayapur, very near to Kolkata in one way. Kharda is the place where Lord Nityananda Prabhu is supposed to come. So while traveling around, he comes to the place called Panihati. And there Raghunath Das Goswami, he sees Lord Nityananda Prabhu. And from a distance, he just pays obeisances. And he's just standing there. And immediately one of his associates tells, "Oh, here is the great devotee, Raghunath Das Goswami." And immediately Lord Nityananda Prabhu calls him and he tells, "Yes, you are a thief. Why? Because you're trying to hide from me. You have something or you're trying to steal something from me and you're hiding from me. So you are a thief. You have to be punished." And then Raghunath Das Goswami is ready to accept whatever punishment Lord Nityananda Prabhu is ready to give. And it tells, all my associates are here. Make them beautiful chip rice, soaked in yogurt and soaked in milk. Make these two preparations and then, serve everyone. And he gets all the chipped rice from all the local stores. He get milk, he get yogurt. He calls all the few brahmanas to cook this thing. In fact, he spent all his wealth. Raghunath Das Goswami was so rich that he's utilizing all his wealth to purchase everything. In fact, he goes and purchases all the poha or the chipped rice from all the local market and from the nearby markets, and then make all the arrangement of cooking, soaking the soaked rice, chipped rice in milk, and some chipped rice in butter, in yogurt, and then eventually he makes that very beautiful preparation, and he brings all the pots for all the devotees and then offers it to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. And Lord Nityananda Prabhu takes this very beautiful chipped rice and he starts eating by himself. And then after, no, he doesn't eat. He actually invites Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Maya, in Jagannath Puri, but he manifests himself in his Avesh form. And Lord, very few devotees, his close associates, could take darshan of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But then it was so wonderful that Lord, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested with all the Panchatattva form, Panchatattva manifesting there, and they beautifully had, this chipped rice. Lord Nityananda Prabhu was taking chipped rice from the milk preparation and feeding it to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and taking chipped rice from the preparation, from the yogurt and feeding it. And same way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was feeding it to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. And this was like such a beautiful thing. It's a very beautiful pastime I explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Very beautiful pastime. And but there is one very beautiful thing about this pastime is we cannot approach the Lord directly. We need to approach some devotee before approaching the Lord. Raghunath Das Goswami approached Lord Nityananda Prabhu. As soon as he received the mercy, after some time he got an opportunity and he immediately escaped from his prison of wealth, prison of family life, and immediately he took, he got an opportunity one day and then he immediately left and he went to Jagannath Puri and completely surrendered to the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, without going through the mercy of devotee, we cannot get the mercy of Lord also. So, this pastime depicts very beautifully that just by pleasing the devotees around, serving the devotees around, it's very important. This is how actually we can surrender to the Supreme Lord. What does Supreme Lord personality of God? We were speaking about surrender earlier, accepting anukulasya sankalpa. So whatever is pleasing to the Supreme Lord, we are ready to accept. And what is pleasing to the Supreme Lord is our cooperation with devotees, is our serving attitude towards each and every devotee who is there around us. Serving all the living entities, not just devotees, all the living entities, having a compassionate heart for serving the devotees. That is very important. That is like something what Lord is looking forward for, in our practice. That how much are we ready to extend ourselves? How much are we ready to do anything for Him and for His devotees? So these festivals are like so beautiful festivals, and Raghunath Goswami exhibited this surrender to the Lord by surrendering to the devotee, serving with such great care. He was just serving Lord Nityananda Prabhu, all his associates. He was taking care of them very nicely, and then he invited Lord Nityananda Prabhu to come and have prasad. But then. Raghav Pandit and Damini and his sister, they prepared a very big lunch. So Lord Nityanand Prabhu took Raghunath also to their home, and then they had wonderful prasad there. So actually we can see these pastimes are so beautiful, so enacting pastimes that we want to hear it again and again, and we want to learn and accept the principles what have been spoken in this pastimes. So for us also the same thing is required, that we are ready to surrender to the Supreme Lord. That is the last instruction of Bhagavad Gita as we were discussing. So this is what the Lord wants, that the the Lord wants that every living entity to willingly surrender, willingly accept His position as the Supreme Lord, and willingly accept our position as the servant. Just by accepting our position as being servant, we become so happy actually, because that is what will make us very very happy, because that is our constitutional position. Jivere Sarup Hoye, Krishnera Nitya Das. So, that is and we become very happy. In fact, we can see sometimes when we just render some very nice service, that makes us so happy actually. It will so, it gives great amount of satisfaction. It gives great amount of joy to our heart just by serving the devotees, serving the Lord, and engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord. That is what is required for us to practice this Krishna consciousness, and we need to give priority to all our practices in Krishna consciousness, not to the priorities to satisfy our senses by engaging in sense gratification, to utilize our independence properly. This is where it comes. This is what Krishna is teaching in Bhagavad Gita, that take the right decisions. Don't take the right decisions to accept and to please the devotees, please the Lord, by taking the right decisions, by doing the right activities, by doing the right devotional activities. And you see how life becomes so wonderful, so joyful actually. So I think this is now 8:20, 8:15. We can have 5 minutes of discussions, and then I think we should end here. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Is there any questions or any reflections?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for this wonderful class. Very, very, some points came up which one didn't know about. So you mentioned about Jatayu, right?
Yes.
So, okay, so I didn't get that, Prabhuji.
Oh, I was telling that victory will be there when you're taking side of the Lord. So even though Jatayu was fighting and got defeated in one way, but then he became victorious in the eyes of Lord Ram. So that was my point. Like even though Duryodhan was trying to fight and Krishna was not there on his side, but still, why was he defeated? Because Krishna was not there. Same way, if we see in the life of Jatayu, Ravana killed Jatayu, almost like, he killed his wings, cut off his all the wings, trying to, and Jatayu was still trying to save, Mother Sita, but then he lost his life. So, but then he became victorious because he left the body, in the lap of Lord Ram, and Lord Ram did the last rites for Jatayu, and he was remembering till the end. He was remembering. The Lord was remembering Jatayu, and he told, "Yes, you will definitely go back home, back to Godhead, to where Lord Ram is residing." So this is victory. This is victory. In fact, it is defeated. It is like a defeat in one sense. By he could not save. He could not be. He could not save Mother Sita, but he was victorious because he took the side of Lord Ram. That is what.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Anything else? Hare Krishna. Any reflections? One or two reflections from the class?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhamma Pranam Al Guru Srila Prabhupada.
Good.
Thank you for a wonderful class explanation of the verse and from Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Prabhuji, I have one question. The festival that you said, right, the Vichida festival, is it like celebrated on a particular date, like or is it given by like particular month?
No, actually, it comes. No, it comes in Gaudiya Vaishnav calendar, and this is
Mhm.
come tomorrow actually. But
Mhm.
we are celebrating today because it's Sunday and all the devotees can come. So
Okay.
we are celebrating it today. So
Okay.
but
Okay.
the Tithi only we celebrate, but it comes in the calendar, whatever festival.
Oh, by Tithi, okay. Yeah, because I've seen like most of the like ISKCON temples like celebrating today. Um,
Because
so
because what is happening
uh,
Monday there will be no devotees who can come.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
one day celebrating before is not a wrong thing.
Okay.
According to time, place, circumstances, we change certain things, but it's done with not like we are celebrating Shiraday festival in the month of December, something like that. No, we are not doing that, but we're just
Hmm.
celebrating it the next day. But it's a very beautiful festival. Everyone
Yes.
who is there,
Hmm.
whoever has Gaunita deities, they should definitely make Shiradai for the Lord and offer it. Even if you don't have, you can make it actually and then offer
Mhm.
it to God and the devotees. It's very, very beautiful.
Yes, Prabhu, this is very beautiful festival. We started celebrating like 2 years back, like in our temple also. Hmm. Harrisburg.
Oh, wonderful. Now, Harrisburg has got Nitai Gaur Chandra actually, so
Yes.
we
Hmm. It's true.
definitely beautiful celebration happening here today.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I
Very
think my learning it was a very profound session today. My learning was that each of us have more evil than the good. And I think the purpose of trust in the Lord Krishna, the way it bestows and gives us the strength to, weed out all the other plants so that the fruit can grow or the vegetation can grow. Similarly, each of us has to weed out a lot of evil thoughts or inappropriate thought that comes in us, and the sadhana and the prayer and the strength and the trust and hope in Krishna really reinforces in a very, very profound way. And I think it's I personally feel it's a very tiresome journey or a very long journey, but I think it's that trust and hope and faith in the Lord which helps us go through meticulously at each step of the way. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Actually, it's not tiresome or long journey. It all depends on the surrender. It all depends on our intensity and our strong desire. In Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, Krishna tells also, he gives the example of Katwang Maharaj. Katwang Maharaj, he was fighting for all the demigods, and he just happened to fight for a very long time. And that during that time, he could not overcome or think or meditate or do anything like that. But then it just took a moment actually. He asked the demigod, what time I'm going to leave body? Just tell me that. And they told next moment you're going to die. And immediately within a moment, he perfected his practice of spirituality, perfected his practice of becoming Krishna conscious. He came and he just meditated on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And immediately he left. He went back home, back to Godhead. So it all depends on our intensity of our practice. It all depends on our desire. If we have the strong desire, then it's very easy actually that we can curb all the evil thoughts or evil things what are there in our heart. And we just have to be very careful in applying the right principles, being in the right association, reading the right books, giving the right script to the mind. We have given already so much to our mind, unwanted things, and our mind is stored with so many things which are very difficult to overcome. But now is the time when we can take the right decisions and give the right things to the mind and accept the process of surrendering and chanting the name of the Lord, chanting every day, chanting this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and chanting, reading Bhagavad Gita, reading Prabhupada books, Srimad Bhagavatam. There's so much actually, so much we can read. In fact, I can tell you, if we start reading all the books of Srila Prabhupada, all our books written by our different acharyas, our lifetime will be insufficient actually. We have so much, but we don't have time to do this stuff. We have so many other worldly things to do that we really, we are like, so we lose a lot of our time. So the thing is, if we can have very beautiful consciousness by praying to Krishna, by reading about Krishna, by hearing about Krishna, and if we keep our consciousness soaked in Krishna consciousness, then all the evil things or evil thoughts, whatever are disturbing, can very easily be overcome. It's not a tedious thing also. It's not a very long thing. It's all about just how you are changing your consciousness from one side to another side. And it's very easy actually. We just need the right association, right consciousness, right practices of principles, and that's it. So that is required.
Thank you for the emphasis on peeling and tedious to shift to the consciousness. I appreciate it. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Anyone last thing before we end? It generally ended by 8:20, right? 8:20, 7:40 to 8:20.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, just wanted to thank you for a wonderful class. You covered all aspects of Prabhupada's purports and you tied it very nicely. So just wanted to express my gratitude. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we will end here. I have to attend Srimad Bhagavatam class also.
Mhm.
Srila
Prabhuji, that was very wonderful class. Please come again and to enlighten us.
Yes, definitely. Whenever I get an opportunity to serve all of you, I'll definitely try to do that. जय शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल।
His Grace Sri Gopal Pran Das Prabhuji ki jai.
Yeah.
की जय।
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna. Hari Bol.